dark cabinet. Oh no, Tadashi rages. Why print awful documents in the 21st century? It's late. He wonders if he'll catch the last train home. He's about to leave, but a nature photo on his screen stops him. He longs for a quiet village life. He's bummed but suddenly remembers the train. If he doesn't hurry, he won't make it home tonight. Paper boxes bury him. He yells, surprised and cursing as the whole shell collapses. He stares at his blood, resenting his solo overtime. He knows no one will come, even if he calls. Glancing at the computer, he realizes he'll miss the last train, tries to call, but knows help is useless since he's not a tenant. He stares at the screen, admiring village farms. It's the end, he whispers, then his vision darkens. He wakes in a strange place labeled a lost soul. A beautiful girl welcomes him to the Avesta, introducing herself as Arya, goddess of the beginning. Tadashi tells her to wait. The goddess explains she summoned him to Esther after he died on Earth. Tadashi realizes he's dead and curses his stupid end. Shocked by the scenery, he wonders if it's heaven, but remembers her other-world talk. The goddess offers rebirth, a fresh start in a new world, making Tadashi wonder again. The goddess grants him a second life. His soul is pure, so she summons the other gods to bless him. Gods appear before the hero. Arya introduces her family, the 12 Avesta gods, offering him a blessing if he chooses one. He notes their vast differences, then spots an old man. He approaches Grandpa asking forgiveness. Grandpa questions him, then reveals he's Kronos, god of agriculture. The MC exclaims, demanding answers. The old man turns, refusing to speak further and urging him to leave. He's sure he'll find forestry boring, not worth picking for a new life in another world. To become a hero, he suggests picking God Helcabalt or the goddess of wisdom, Mia. Grandfather says sages are popular, powerful, her blessing grants magic. He denies, preferring agriculture no matter how strange. Shocked, the old man asks if he's serious. The guy replies he's always wanted a quiet life and the agriculture blessing is the perfect fit. Rampus stutters in disbelief, claiming the volcano is better for an artisan. The guy ignores him and asks Kronos what he's offering. The god of agriculture is glad he asked. He explains agriculture, a living thing, isn't just farming, fishing, or cooking, it's so much more. He entrusts his life to Mr. Kronos, making Grandpa burst into tears. Shocked, he asks why the old man is crying. Grandpa explains that in 10,000 years and 2024 arrivals, he's the first to ever pick farming. The guy can't. God realizes he never asked his name. Ono Tadashi introduces himself. Grandpa calls it a great name. Stunned, he questions why anyone would be reborn just to farm. He bluntly promises the guy won't regret it, then turns to Arya as the goddess asks what's wrong. Grandfather knows his chance is gone but makes a dying plea, transfer his powers to Ono Tadashi. The goddess gets it. Grandpa gives Dashi all his power. A glow erupts, leaving a mark on his hand. He's now the world's chosen savior. He stares at the mark on his hand, the 7-star blessing from the god of agriculture. Suddenly, a voice shouts for old Kronos to stop. The god of heroes and Mia confront him, calling him insane for breaking the rules and giving away 7 stars. Grandfather asks why she took it, tells her to look herself, and asks the rules. God of Hero doesn't mind, but people always get 5 stars. Mia backs him, insisting 7 stars is illegal even for farming. World laws are absolute, and Mrs. Arya won't let this slide. He asks Arya if it's true, but the furious old man barks at him to shut up and listen. Grandpa snaps at her, claiming farming is life. Arya begs them to listen, then warns the goddess that the world is ending. She says the Avastar awaits its end. Mia's confused, unsure how to respond. Arya describes a primitive world plagued by war and poverty. She asks Mia for her blessing count since 2024, and Mia guesses at least 533. She confronts Helcabalt. He blessed at least 800 people, so why doubt her? The god of heroes confirms it. Arya reveals 4 people became dragons through the monster god, 24 demon lords served Diabel, and 6 blacksmiths were gifted by Vulcan. Arya claims the god of agriculture chose him first. His powers aren't for fighting, so the 7 stars won't make him a god of battle. She claims more food only benefits him, but Mia refuses to accept it. Glaring, she identifies him as Ono Tadashi while the MC wonders what's next. She asks why he won't pick one now, claiming his soul deserves more than farming, while the god of agriculture fumes with rage. Kronos stops, realizing the MC needs Vulcan's tools. Grandpa vouches for him with Tadashi's blessing, but a furious Mia demands to know what he thinks he is. The god of agriculture, world's hope, admits monsters are too strong. Even with his blessing, Tadashi will be weak. One isn't enough. Mia says no one's ever received multiple blessings. The old man calls her petty. To survive Avesta, he must fight. He asks the god of heroes if he agrees, since it's to save the world. The god apologizes, refusing. The agriculture god collapses at his feet, shocking the man who declares gods shouldn't kneel. The weak old man offers Tadashi as his only gift, making Helk privately think Kronos went too far. God tells Kronos to look up, granting him a 1-star blessing. He grabs the MC's hand and the light flares again. He turns to Vulcan, your turn. Vulcan agrees with Kronos but won't give 1 star, asking what's his problem. He then turns to Tadashi who, feeling low, responds positively. He explains that blessings drain faith from followers to empower the gods. The cost, the MC apologizes, admitting he's broke. Vulcan's stunned, then laughs, telling Kronos the kid is hilarious. Vulcan explains the fee isn't money, just taken later. Think sanctuary or altar. He realizes it's a place of worship. Vulcan demands top-shelf booze and food as the pioneer of agriculture. The MC thanks him and asks the hero god for his order. He denies his blessing, but Tadashi offers to take it back. The man calls him well-mannered, telling him to forget it, though I thought it was a simple gift. His final warning, just don't blacken. The goddess asks if he's ready, and he nods with a thank you. Arya tells him to keep the god's blessing in the mortal world. She smiles and wishes him happiness. He's surprised. She snaps her fingers. He's in a cloud, screams echoing, trees looming. Moments later, he slams to the ground. Shocked, the hero screams, "Where am I?" He's stranded in a desert, Avesta, the limbo subcontinent. Her news drops in, congratulates the hero. The hero eyes him, confused. The old man quickly updates him. The MC is lost, but the old man scans the mountains and rivers, declaring location doesn't matter since they have everything to survive. Dashi realizes the air is clean. He'd only wanted to farm in a quiet city, not end up in this deserted wilderness. He's finally chasing his lifelong dream, but why start from nothing? The old man explains it's the only place left untouched. He says every country charges a good tax for this kind of activity. The MC's shocked. He never thought taxes existed in another world. The old man warns that the nobles will tax and humiliate him, but the guy just tells him to finish the briefing. He realizes gods reveal their world maps for the first time, but farmers are poor, taxes leaving them starving. Some call it a god's test, but he knows it's not. The old man claims the world is rotting with war and only he can save it. He wants to spare the boy from its horrors, earning the hero's sincere thanks. It asks God if these lands are uninhabited. He says this subcontinent is limbo, rejected from God's blessing. Tools snap on stones and trees harder than iron, and the river flows with deadly poison. The old man warns survival is impossible, leaving the outraged hero demanding to know how he'll survive. Grandfather irritably demands he listen, explaining gods rejected these lands, cursing them. But he's blessed by the agriculture god, wielding 7-star power. The MC asks how to use his power, but the old man tells him to dip his hands in the river. Outraged, he asks again. He reaches for the water, which I know is poisonous. Suddenly, light purifies it and the old man says it's drinkable. Surprised, the main character agrees. The old man's blessing purifies any water, leaving the guy overjoyed. God warns it's too soon to thank him, revealing his body reset to 20 on transfer, now immune to injuries or illnesses, finally explaining the main character's light feeling since arriving. The agriculture god offers a parting gift, glancing at the young man. Tadashi asks about the bag and Grandpa reveals it's a magic farming tool with infinite space where time stops and food never rots. Asked if she can take it, the old man shrugs, ignoring I stole it from the treasury, sure. The guy immediately protests, you can't do that. God says don't worry, he'll apologize later. It's her fault for skipping his blessing, so he'll pay with artifacts instead. He agrees to forgive the old man and asks what offering she wants. The old man warns him to back off when she's mad, don't even touch her. God resumes their talk, confirming the main character understood purified water is drinkable. The old man says they can move on, now they need food. He tells him the bag holds water, so scoop some in. God praises him for taking water, adding he'll live like this until he finds clay for dishes. Pouring water from his bag, the MC plans temporary dishes. Suddenly, he spots something. Suddenly, a fish swims into his bag. Shocked, he stammers, asking if that was a fish. The old man cheers, congratulating him on his first catch and tonight's dinner. Grandfather urges him into the forest to find something useful. The trees are leafless. He grabs a branch. He's stunned. These magical trees are actually solid iron. The old man asks if he's found anything. Tadashi, surprised, the blessing helps him understand local plants, but the old man says that's natural given his analysis level. He's clueless about Alicia's herb, but the agriculture god calls him lucky. It's a rare plant named after the healing goddess, but since she shouldn't be here, the god is baffled how he found it. The old man assumes she saw and helped. He vows to thank her, planting grass immediately. Grandpa praises his kindness. Grandfather asks what they'll plant, but first they must prep the soil. Behind his back, the guy crafts a tool. The old man turns, sees it, and praises his clever invention. The guy's shovel looks like a hoe, but the old man comforts him, calling it a great start for farming from scratch. He declares the goal set, urging the hero to work with all his heart. Tadashi takes his first swing ever. He counts down, and the hoe slams the ground with a bang. The ground rips apart. The harvest god stares, shocked, questioning. He yells, embarrassed. The old man yells again. The guy asks what happened, and the old man is left in total shock. The old man asks what he did, but Tadashi reminds him he said to pour his heart into this case, and he did just that. God grunts, asking what's wrong. The old man grabs some soil, realizing the guy didn't just farm the land, he made it more fertile. The old man has no clue no one else ever had the agriculture god's blessing. He doubts his power works on humans, so God assumes the MC's own desires triggered the miracle. The main character saw past image, his computer's nature screensaver. He's always wanted this. The old man knew he was good. Now God calls him to water the earth. He waters the ground, restoring its natural color. The old man suggests planting grass, but he remembers he has Alicia. She plants and it instantly shoots up. She shouts it's growing impossibly fast, asking how it's possible. The old man grunts as Tadashi's blessing awakens, letting any plant grow in just 3 days. The MC thanks him, finally understanding his new power. Old man's shocked the guy isn't phased, then tells the main character to grind found animal bones into fertilizer powder. He sprinkles the plants and they skyrocket. The MC cheers as Grandpa says fertilizer is supercharged, predicting a massive tree in just 2 days. The old man wants to farm something new and he's ready to help. God warns night is coming, so they need firewood, but the MC refuses to kill a growing tree, praying to it for forgiveness instead. The guy chops a tree, asking God if it needs drying for a fire. God says he'll explain everything. Fresh wood is too wet to burn, but his ability dries it in 3 days, a wait he doesn't mind. The old man offers a better path, survive the tree. The hero asks again and the old man nods, calling the alternative a mere rag. Tadashi crushes wood like a rag, gasping in shock. God realizes why he's stunned. Shocked this blessing looks like magic, he wonders how a tree just spawned. The old man tells him to drop his old logic, this is a world of gods and divine power. He claims blessing isn't magic, it's God's skill with endless possibilities. The guy got a blessing too, don't forget it. He sees the hand, awestruck by the god of agriculture's 7-star blessing. The old man offers to make fire. He apologizes, asking how to get fire. God tells him not to worry and spread out dry grass. He obeys and asks if it's right. The old man nods, telling him to strike 2 pebbles to create a spark. He obeys God, creating a spark, then a flame. God commands him to transfer it to a tree, which he does, igniting a bonfire. Tadashi asks God if the bonfire is beautiful. The god of agriculture admits he loved making fire most, calling Tadashi funny. Tadashi says it's his dream overnight campfire. The god of agriculture says he's right, talking by a campfire is useful. They talked by the fire all night. Under the stars, he felt nostalgic. In his past life, this was a dream only his ancestors knew. Tadashi woke up. The god of agriculture demands, what happened? He's planning his future and needs a house plus a way to boil water. God asks what's the holdup since he just found clay. He remembers her, surprised he'd forgotten, then mixes sand for durability. He's surprisingly good despite once being terrible, assuming the blacksmith god's blessing affects it. The old man asks about the stunning rope. The guy explains it's Dizamon ceramics from his ancestors. Intrigued, the god of agriculture calls his world's items beautiful. He says to just fry them in the fire. He sees it's turning black. God chuckles nearby. He claims everything is going exactly as predicted, but the hero is completely lost. Old man warns rushing breaks dishes, but the blacksmith god's blessing makes them perfect, so the guy keeps polishing, improving appearance and adding moisture protection. They keep cooking and he realizes he hasn't felt this happy in years, finally escaping his boring daily routine. The guy's hungry, needs to cook. God reminds him he caught a fish while getting water. Dashi stops him asking if it's edible. God reveals it's a demonic salmon, rare but lethal if cooked wrong. He asks again, stunned. The god of agriculture calms him, assuring him his touch instantly cleansed the poison. The MC asks if it's true. God offers him a life of martial arts, but he refuses, choosing to stay a simple farmer. The old man jokes, then warns some creatures stay hostile even after purification. They're in the local forest. God promises to stay the night but still suggests building shelter. Suddenly, the guy spots something and stammers in fear. The old man brushes it off as a demonic bird and tells him to ignore it. Guy says he needs a weapon. God asks why he has one. Guy explains demonic ore and wood are stronger than steel, tools from them beat any sword. Stalin reminds the hero of his blessing and unmatched power, but the boy responds with doubt. He decides to prepare. The old man backs him, reminding him the Alicia herb makes a medicinal drug. The agriculture god warns him to prepare early to save dozens of lives. The guy is confused, but you don't question a god. He suggests we continue cooking. He slices salmon, throws it in boiling water, adds mushrooms. It smells edible and one bite proves it's delicious, but it lacks miso, sauce, or salt. The agriculture god suggests adding grass, so Tadashi asks Alicia if it's possible. It tastes even better. The old man says it's an ingredient for the elixir of life, but as seasoning, it's nothing. While the soup cooks, the old man claims that as a god, he can accept food offerings. Skeptical, the MC asks what he wants first. God admits he'd prefer a stone statue but settles for food's ready. The old man wishes him well, and God declares it the best meal he's had in ages, much to Tadashi's delight. God of agriculture invites Greenhead to taste this, then brazenly asks for a statue. Hero wonders, a volcano. Grandfather confirms he makes the world's best tools. The blacksmith god appears, needing no convincing. Kronos hands him a bowl, and Vulcan realizes it's fish soup. Tadashi calls him Mr. Volcano and asks if it's good. He loves it, but Kronos tells Vulcan it's time to work. Vulcan's confused, wanting to savor his meal. Agriculture agrees, telling him to eat and listen. He tosses an item to the blacksmith, asking if he recognizes it. Vulcan identifies it as demonic ore. Kronos admits he can't process it, but the god of blacksmithing's divine power makes anything possible. Vulcan senses divine power, shocking the old man. No mortal has ever forged her before, and he demands the secret. The blacksmith god blames mortals for thinking small. He tells the main character they'll need an oven, anvil, hammer, and tongs for hot metal. Tadashi tells him to slow down. God suggests a simple oven first, adding he wants melting molds and material spots nearby, but it's fine for now. Hero finishes the furnace, declares it ready. Volcano demands a fire, feed it air and wood until it peaks. The blacksmith god praises him, saying they only need fire now. Tadashi argues demonic wood won't burn, but God insists anything ignites with enough effort. People only think it's impossible because they give. Tadashi claims it's not burning, but the blacksmith god knows, telling him to wait and watch closely as flame engulfs the branches. Vulcan asks if he sees the flame shift from red to blue. Tadashi realizes it needs higher heat and assumes demonic ore works the same. The blacksmith god praises his sharp wit, adding that Mia is clueless and keeps trying to steal the material. Vulcan knows what to do, time to act. He'll be there, updating you if needed. The MC thanks him. Tadashi processes the stone until it turns blue, confident he's doing everything right. The blacksmith god confronts him. MC shudders, fearfully answering. Instead, the god praises him. The blue aura means he can now work with it, and he's never had a better student. The MC thanks him. Unsure what to do, the MC asks Vulcan, who tells him to forge a plate first and turn it into a hammer later. Even if nothing works, he'll know his next move. Vulcan approves, telling him to dunk the metal in water to create powerful blue ore. It makes elite tools, and Vulcan praises the hero for a solid start. MC holds his new hammer, calling it a success despite so-so looks, confident it'll work and improve. The blacksmithing god praises it as great, advising more practice. MC vows to work harder and asks for training. Vulcan approves, telling him to mine more and upgrade his forge before asking if he can handle earth materials. He shows God the clay pots, surprising him he hadn't noticed these ceramics. Tadashi fired in intense heat, prompting God to suggest improving quality by building a firing chamber. He claims helping brings joy. With God stranded, Dashi and Vulcan join forces. Their speed envied mortals. Together they got what they wanted. The MC passes out and the man nearby notes he's finally down. It's a shame even the blessed need rest, but after working 2 days straight, he deserves the sleep. Agriculture God praises Tadashi's development and Vulcan agrees, comparing him to a carefully nurtured seed in fertile soil that will surely bear great fruit. Another man asks if the kid will blossom. He isn't sure, but after their time together, he knows the boy isn't the type to risk his life. Vulcan says he prepared him well. He might not save the world, but he can make it better. The god of agriculture, however, realizes the guy landed in a deserted Avesta prison. God thinks Tadashi can change everything for humans and gods alike. He tells him to try while they watch it unfold. The blacksmith god agrees and Kronos nods. They turn to find the boy awake. Tadashi's up, one shouts, calling his name. God declares their training over, leaving him alone. Tadashi thanks them. Nearby, Vulcan admits he hasn't had students like them in ages. He asks the MC to call with problems, but warns he won't work for free, demanding a good offering first. They laugh as Tadashi assures them they can count on him. The minister warns him to gear up and survive before making offerings. He agrees, while a nearby volcano orders Kronos to hurry up. Old man will miss him, but rules are rules. He tells him to stay safe. The guy agrees, thanking him for the help. Gods fly off. Kronos shouts they'll meet again. The MC watches, promising they'll meet. He sees the rising sun, time to reap his first harvest. His new life began. 3 harvests later, the fields transformed as his cypress and chestnuts grew into a forest. He built a house, warehouse, and cellar for his dream life, but lately he's feeling lonely. Living at the world's edge had its downsides, but he still dreamed of finding a pet in this wasteland. Suddenly, he hears screams, wondering what kind. He doesn't want to mess with it, but it's worth a look. If things get bad, he'll bolt. Heading toward the screams, he's shocked to see a puppy fleeing a monster. He knows an action means doom. What's his move, save or flee? Recalling the god's warning about his enemy's power, he grabs a tool, fueled by his divine blessing. He tells the monster to get away, then grabs the poker. He wonders if he succeeded. The monster stares back. He keeps hunting the pup. The guy calls him pushy and hatches a plan since a direct attack won't work. If it flies, shoot it down. He hoes dirt at the monster, yelling, "Get it!" The monster's surprised, indignant. MC asks for more, dares him to fly. The monster screams back. He slams him with earth again, shouting, "There's plenty of land, so don't be shy. Stay out or get buried right here." He bans the bird, calling it an overgrown chicken. It trembles in Dashi's arms as he asks about its self-worth and those brutal wounds. Tadashi eyes the beast's gruesome wounds and tells it to wait. He raids his bag, she bandages the injury with a plant, and he strokes its head, hoping it works. He asks where the kid's from and where his parents are. He's clearly an outsider, likely lost or chased by that monster. Seeing the puppy reach for a bone, he asks if it wants it. Animals are starving. Someone yells at a guy collecting bones, fearing puppies will break their teeth. The MC gives him food and tells him to eat. The cute creature grins, looking just like a dog. Tadashi can't leave it behind and asks it to join him, and the animal happily agrees. He scoops up the puppy, declaring they'll live together. He then remembers it needs a name. The man stares, confused. The hero gets an idea. Hearing its weird noises, he names the beast Kuru, relieved he's no longer alone. He lies, thinking his forest and fields expand. He has many food crops, but worries the season ends soon and he ran out of time. Peering outside, he decides to investigate and heads out to pack his gear. He eyes the items, unsure what they hold, but warns them to prepare for anything. He then questions the seemingly adult courier, noting his rapid growth. Tadashi questions his insane growth, but realizes he's a rare subspecies of dog. Pointing to the horizon, he tells Kuru they're off to the sea for salt. Kuru growls, questioning. "No idea how long," he shrugs, "but we've nothing else to do this." He points, asking if the beast sees. It growls, begging him to write, but Tadashi refuses. He can walk himself. The beast forces the hero to climb on, who exclaims in surprise. The beast takes off, blazing across land. He tells Kuruar he's incredible. Its speed matches a car's. The beast row. They hit the coast fast, revealing a stunning view. He admits walking would have taken days and thanks Karyuta for the lift. The MC finds this world's sea surprisingly similar, missing its dark depths. He assumes he can clear it, touches the water, and it instantly clarifies, making him exclaim. He tastes the water and it's salty, just like home. Realizing their worlds are similar, he decides to harvest salt, confident the others will back him. Boiling salt water leaves salt. The main character cooks it, envisioning mass production. Suddenly an animal appears. He asks, "What are you?" MC shouts over some seafood until an animal beckons him, making him wonder if it's worth the trip. Kururu leads him to the pond. He gasps, calling it gorgeous and massive. A lobster delivers a satisfied Kuru, leaving the crew shocked that lobsters even exist in this world. The main character questions lobsters still in another world. Soon he drops his doubts, saying he doesn't care about them. The seafood feast is set. Tadashi breaks off a piece and offers Kururu a taste. It's salty and delicious, exactly what you'd expect from the sea. It's just incredible. Kuru pouts as the food runs out, but the MC promises more. Suddenly, a ship looms behind Tadashi. He notices Karuru drinks a lot, figures it's the salty food, and needs water. He turns and spots Kurura. If he's there, who's drinking the water? MC turns, spots a girl, gasps. The cat-eared girl blurts, "Water's out." Too stunned to speak, he wonders, is that even a girl? He notices her fantasy-like ears and wonders where she's from, and if her world is running out of water. The girl asks him for water and food, calling him a gentleman. He asks her to wait, shocked she called him gentleman. A crying girl hugs a frozen guy as others rush over. One screams at the human to get his hands off Aaron. The MC is baffled, first a cat girl, now an elf. He assumes they were on the ship, too busy with seafood to notice, then stops. A swimsuit girl, elves live in forests, what's happening? The second girl demands an answer, screaming at him to get away from Aaron. The MC begs her to let go, saying nobody wants this. Behind the elven girl, other girls demand he release her, yelling it's unthinkable a man grabbed Aaron. The eared girl again calls him gentleman, then asks for food. Tadashi offers food, but only if she stops calling him master. The girl tells Iceland he's a good person, but the elf warns her to back off. She points out he's a man, but the elf calls humans treacherous and suspects the food is poisoned. Tadashi argues the seafood is fresh, asking why he'd poison his own meal before demanding to know who they are. Surprised, the elf asks if this is human territory's border. The MC, confused, asks what border she means. She asks where they sailed. It claims God called it the world's edge. Shocked, she repeats the words in disbelief. She's shocked by the distance, immediately noticing the border water is black and poisonous. He replies he cleaned it, otherwise how'd he get salt and seafood? The elf demands the truth and Isolina doubts him, but he insists he's being honest. Cat-eared girl asks if they want to eat, saying she has clean water. Elf-eared girl asks if she understands what she's saying. Aaron asks what's wrong, noting the ship's out of food and water. She claims meeting him saved her life and Isolina hesitantly agrees. He offers his provisions if they need them, though he'll catch more later. But the elf-eared girl refuses, saying people can't be trusted after what they've done. She eyes Kurura, asking what this massive beast is, but the guy asks if she means Kurura. He plays dumb, insisting it's just a small dog or wolf, but realizes she's Karuru. She yells dogs aren't that huge. She screams his fangs can shred dragon scales, exposing him as the legendary Fenrir. A nightmare stands before her. Terrified, the girl faints, but her servants catch her, begging Mrs. Iceland to wake up. Tadashi stands frozen as his vision spins. She slowly stirs and he asks if she's finally awake. She screams, calls him human, pushes him away. He asks her to stop treating him that way. Others easily accepted his help. They were swept away while fishing. He's unsure of their next move, but first, they need rest. Tadashi hands her a bowl of Lizzie's herb water to help her recover. The girl stumbles, asking about Alyssa's grass again. I ask where he found the rare plant. The MC checks on her, warning she's starving and dehydrated. Blessed by the 3-star healing goddess, she knew he wasn't lying. This herb was Elijah's. It's impossible to find or buy. She figures he's a good guy as he helps her drink. The elf stands ready to drink more. Impressed, he challenges her to stand. She feels grass, not sand, confused why they're not on the beach. The MC explains he raised her, finding sand uncomfortable. The girl asks again in disbelief, wondering about Alyssa's grass. She's privately surprised by this man, thinking he lied about the sea, and with Fenrir serving him, the elf wonders who he is. Tadashi strokes the animal, calling him a good boy. The girl spots a 9-star blessing on his hand. Knowing he has the highest blessing, she won't defy him and apologizes for her earlier words and actions. Isolane introduces himself as the CL head and flounder rep, admitting he already knows Ariadne is a powerful queen. She asks him again but says no, that was long ago, now she just leads the Sea Elves. He apologizes. Realizing he forgot his name, he introduces himself as Ono Tadashi, but the girl freezes, asking if he's really the king. She denies mishearing his surname, but he clarifies it's only a surname, Tadashi his first. Confused, she re-asks his name, wondering if she got it right. The girl says a surname means a famous family. She assumes he's a knight, hero, or sage. He denies, saying he's just a farmer. She asks again, stunned. Eren notices the girl waking up. She calls him a good man with the god of agriculture's 7-star blessing, letting him grow anything instantly. She's airheaded as usual. I ask if people really just share food, but Eren reminds me they'd be dead without help. She hands the elf-eared girl seafood, demanding she try it. Isolina condescendingly agrees, knowing he will watch, leaving the baffled MC to ask what's happening. He asks if it's poisoned as she eats. She gloomily replies that if it were, she'd make him taste it first, but she needs the strength to survive. He wonders what she meant by making him try, assuming this world has something similar. Elf-eared girl frowns yet eats. The MC smiles. She thanks him for the food, then turns. He looks confused. The girl drops to her knees, shocking the MC and cat girl. I suddenly demand he make her his servant, and the guy shouts in disbelief. He replays her slave demand, confused, as he senses another girl's eyes behind him. He turns, tells them it's nothing, and vows he'd never make a girl his servant. The elf reveals a sacrifice is needed for his help, then volunteers herself. Irene refuses, arguing as their leader it's wrong, instead offering to serve the main character. Isolina screams that the girl is the beastman's last hope, while the MC asks why they're thanking him this way. Perplexed, the girls say he's a man they owe. The elf adds all people are bad and want to force them into service. Confused, the guy asks what she thinks of him. Iceland considers taking a beautiful girl as a servant, but his mind flashes a weird image. Too embarrassed to even imagine it, he wonders what they're thinking. He claims he's always lived alone and doesn't need servants except Kururu. The elf is stunned, and the other girl asks why he even helped them. He can't grasp the problem, asking if they don't do that here. The girls shake their heads in disbelief. Speechless with shock, he realizes these people are strange. He's in the Flounder Archipelago, home to sea elves and beastmen. The elf was captured by the Eastern Sea military, so the guy asks if they obey him. Before their capture, demons constantly attacked from the North Sea, devouring many companions. He's horrified. She claims sea elves and beastmen were always weak, pushing borders in conflicts, but now demons and humans split the archipelago. Irene says only girls survived. Every man either vanished in war or was eaten by demons. Isolina warns demons see them as food, preferring the duchy, but its demands are steep. Irene adds they'll enslave her unless she fills 7 treasuries with gold, a fate she refuses. Recalling his talk with God, he realizes these are Kronos' requirements. The girls explain they escaped servitude, sailing for provisions. The MC clenches his fist, furious this world is terrible and its people cruel. He offers Iceland food, asking if they're omnivores. Surprised, she agrees. He shakes food from the bag. Amazed, Iceland picks it up, asking what it is and what's wrong with the bag. He says it's enough for now, but offers more if needed. Eren's thrilled, thanking his master again, only for MC to remind him, no mister. Behind him, the girl hesitates to speak, but he senses something's wrong. The elf asks about Alicia's herb, so Tadashi confirms the field is loaded and tells her to start gathering. She inspects the plants, asks about the field. I'm shocked he grows them himself. Isolina won't believe it, they're too rare and tough to grow. The MC, surprised, asks what. The beast girl calms her, reminding her Tadashi's 7-star agriculture blessing makes raising her easy, and she admits Eren is right. The girl reveals many on the island are wounded, shocked he gave them the grass for free. He just tells her to name the amount and he'll provide it. She thanks him and apologizes for hiding her 3-star healing blessing. She can turn Alicia's herb into a powerful elixir, far better than raw grass, leaving him impressed. The girl offers to show her skill. She pounds delicious herbs, boils water, and pours it into a glass jar. She lifts the glowing item, begging the goddess to grant Alicia healing powers. The MC is stunned. It's an elixir she offers as a small price, payment for his help. Dashi agrees and takes it. He calls the glass the most beautiful he's ever seen, but Isolina, wanting a skill evaluation, asks if that's all. Tadashi apologizes, praising her incredible talent, admitting he couldn't craft such beauty. She says glass is made from sand, so he can make it, then calls another girl Isya. She tells Mrs. Eileen she's listening, looking at her mistress with excitement. He sees her glasses, realizing lenses are possible here. The elf explains Ishab, blessed by the blacksmith god, makes glass vials. Elves, master glassmakers with secret knowledge, will share it for payment. He's hyped and begs to learn his glassmaking secrets. Confused, the girl agrees to show him everything. She notes that even with so much sand, they lack a stove or tools. Dashi assures them everything will be fine. He's got tons of materials, pulls out a bag, dumps everything. Just name it, he'll craft it. Thrilled Kronos gave him this bag. Both elves are stunned. Isia explains everything and they get to work. Isolina sees him making bricks and asks how. She assumes he has the blacksmith god's blessing, boosted by his main power. She's shocked he has multiple divine blessings. Isia is better at this, so she trusts her judgment. He finally finishes the furnace but needs portable versions next. Isia grabs a handful of sand, explaining that the shells inside mean they'll need algae. Isolane offers her ship's supply and the MC accepts. Aboard the ship, he spots something and freezes in shock. He asks, is Undaria feathery? Isolina counters, you know that algae. The main character confirms his world had an ocean, then adds he doesn't know how much glass is needed, but leaves some for the soup. She asks if he has algae, noting others always threw them away and stared. He finds them tasty and asks why he shouldn't eat them, though he admits the unique flavor isn't for everyone. Isolina wonders if it's true, then says he'd look good in the sea. The girl blushes, smiling. The hero reconsiders, thinking the sign's algae applies to all Japanese. He spots marine cotton and rubber seeds, triggering assessment to see how they differ from normal cotton. The girl says marine cotton and rubber make their clothes and shows it on herself. The guy blushes, says he gets it and wants to grow them. He asks her to teach him. She happily agrees. She warns cultivation takes a year, but he's intrigued. He tells her to watch as they wade knee-deep into the water. Dashi throws a seed into the water. Isolina wonders what will happen. A small tree instantly sprouts, surprising her as she exclaims, and Dashi remembers it's fertilizer. She calls him smart but says his only use is fertilizing soil, so he starts sprinkling it. He's stunned by the tree's massive growth. He thinks huge trees on the beach, enough material for glass. He turns to Isoline and she responds. He reminds her she promised to repay his help and food. Terrified, she agrees to do whatever it takes. The world needs food, not healers or fighters. Tadashi will do it, sacrificing his goals. He claims he's just a clueless farmer and offers a deal. Surprised, she asks him again. He claims he's a farmer needing plants, seeds, and knowledge. In return, he'll provide food and alicia grass, promising to make the island and its people happier, better. She smiles and blushes, understanding. Isolina leaves for the island tomorrow but will fulfill his request. He asks again about tomorrow, then suddenly realizes it's already evening. Perplexed, the girl asks what's wrong, eyeing him questioningly. Exhausted and annoyed, he forgot to build a bed after using all his materials on the stove and tools. The girl tells him to relax. Isoline cheers Aaron on. He confirms everything's fine, opening the tents. Once set up, the main character wonders why they had tents all along, then thanks the smiling girls. Kuru rushes to meet him, earning praise for his hard work. Seeing the sand, he leads the beast to the water as Kuru roars with joy. Kuru's fluffy, beautiful. The main character watches girls bathing, puzzled he doesn't know how to bathe. Tadashi blushes, promising a locker room soon. Smiling, Iceline invites him to her tent for the night. He blushes, calling it a bad idea, preferring to watch the bonfire. She asks what he dislikes. Isolina and Isia drag him into a tent, insisting he can't sleep outside. Aaron greets them, asking if the man is with them. He confusedly insists it's still a bad idea, looking around. He gives in, finally persuaded. The animal-eared girl cheers, claiming Tadashi's sleeping with them. Blushing, Tadashi refuses and storms off to the campfire while Aaron smiles. Kururu appears. The MC says the animal convinced him to stay, and soon everyone's fast asleep. Next morning, he steps from the tent. Joyful Aaron greets him, asking if he's awake. He responds, seeing she got up early too. She asks him to work, assuming he'd take the chance. He asks what chance she means. She pulls back the tent curtain, sarcastically asking, how's this? They find Iceline asleep. Aaron reminds him she'd do anything for him, but Tadashi questions what's wrong with her and why she even accepts him. She laughs, saying Iceline isn't his type, but he admits she is. He just won't use her. He shifts gears, asking how the tent fabric holds. She scoffs at the dumb question, saying it's obviously glue. He notes they use animal bones for glue, like his world. Ashag greets everyone good morning, then asks Dash if he wants to see how they make tents. She explains the tense marine rubber gives it elasticity with specific woods for guides. He gets it, realizing elves are super smart. Aaron asks the guy if he likes this. He confirms he's dreamed of it his whole life, then asks the girl what she likes. She asks again, hesitating before claiming her warrior spirit loves combat. She even brags about killing sharks, leaving the MC stunned. Her response shocks him as an elf girl appears. Tadashi hands Iceland water, but she's embarrassed to be seen looking so sleepy. He'd assumed she liked normal guys, but he was wrong. She's a princess. Isolina tells Tadashi they're heading home, and with these winds, they'll arrive tomorrow. He urges her to hurry and feed her comrades, and the elf thanks him again. He agrees it's a deal, no thanks needed, unable to ignore the locals' attitudes. The girl blushes, looking at him enthusiastically, thanking him again. Kronos' words finally clicked. Gods grant power for a purpose. She must prove herself by helping others. Isolina leaves Isia and 2 others for him to protect. He agrees, thanking her as she boards the ship. They depart, and he waves, wishing them safe travels. He has the girls introduce themselves to assign them roles matching their skills. The girls agree. Lola claims she's highly skilled, while Bari worked the fields. He counts on them and Isia, but asks them to change. Swimsuits are too much for him. Does anyone have other clothes? And he asks why the CLs wear swimsuits, but Lola insists they're the best work gear for the beach. Tadashi hands them gear for their new Earth missions to protect their skin, and the girls agree. Isia suggests making glass and asks where to begin. He thinks for a moment, then decides they'll grow a forest first. The girls are shocked and double-check while the beautiful sea sparkles behind them. Bari's shocked trees only grow from water. The MC, Sirius, plans to plow while Bari plants and waters. He realizes his plowed land lets anyone grow crops instantly. The forest is finally ready, but the girls notice his look and ask what's wrong. He decides to dig a well here, but Bari tells him to let her. She's dug wells on the island. He refuses help, insisting he'll handle it alone. He's certain his goal is nearby. The girl stands stunned as he slams his instrument into the ground. The girl gasps in shock as he confirms his hunch and tells her to step back. Water gushes from his strike point. Bari shouts, questioning. Dashi reveals he smelled underground water, so he hit. He's glad it ended fast without digging a hole, but she's totally confused. She insists on building the well since it's her job. He agrees, pointing to the materials he's already prepped. He starts lunch early. Asha tells Lola to help, and she happily agrees. They head to Kuroor. He beams, proud of his massive catch. Tadashi praises. He tastes his salt and knows it's perfect as Lola asks for her orders. He asks for time to think, then tells her to bring Isolane's algae. He'd make broth while she soaked seaweed in a pan. Lola smiles, understanding. The girl bolts, smiling. Tadashi knows lunch is far, so he'll take his time. Lola shouts broth's almost ready, and grins at the hero. Girl smiles, spots Tadashi's desk. She leans to the main character, wondering if he's pushing dough for bread. Tadashi's surprised she knows. He heard Shayfruits make bread and cookies, so. She smiles, saying the bread's ready, but he asks to learn so they can bake together. Lola happily agrees. She starts pounding dough. She sets a piece down, saying fruits are good for cooking, but better mixed with flour. The MC listens intently, then says they'll need Zelina to deliver more. Girl reassures him, saying salt's good for making dough heavier. He agrees, claiming he salts very well. Together, they put the dough in the oven, ready to bake their future bread. They pull out the bread. The guy thinks the bread doesn't look like his world's. He breaks off a piece, assuming this is how it should be. Next, seafood soup. He quickly removes the seaweed before it boils. He eyes the dish, claiming Kururu's find will make it amazing. Dinner's ready, stunning all 3 girls. Someone tries a dish, calls it delicious. Asha didn't know Tadashi cooked seaweed. She'll eat it too. They might think he's from the CL family too. Lolo smiles, no longer seeing him as a stranger, and the MC is relieved. Lolo asks Karuru if he likes the bread made with she fruits, and the creature growls happily while eating. He thanks the girls for their hard work and serves them coffee made from local fruit. Isia's never seen the drink before and asks what coffee even is. A girl shouts that he's bitter. Lolo worked hard on the drink, but they prefer water. She apologizes, but the confused MC thinks he should be the one saying sorry. He thinks it tastes like coffee from his world, not understanding what he did wrong. Asha smiles, calls the coffee delicious. He exhales, relieved. She begs him to stop. He laughs, promising to teach her better glassmaking today. Ashamed, she admits it's all she can do. Isia and Tadasi finally finish the glass bottle. The hero declares the job done, raising his creation as the girl calls it a masterpiece. She mentions he even built a glass-blowing tool. He laughs and credits his teacher. He remembers the gods, hoping Vulcan and co are well and planning a seafood treat, while she praises his wood's perfect burn, saying his tech will make first-class glass. Sia says more glass means more elixir bottles, so Tadashi orders her to craft as many as possible. Hiro asks her for glassware, claiming it's more beautiful and stronger than ceramic. She agrees. Hiro needs more elixir, so he expands his elixir fields. He also needs food vegetables, so he plants a new field. Tadashi recruits Bari before sunset, and she joins him without hesitation. He muses, despite the hard work, he loves this life, crafting tools and dishes from his finds. Tadashi believes this is their desired life. Bari asks if he needs to pick cotton and rubber today. She heads after them. Lola warns that making thread and fabric requires a spinning wheel and loom, but they're tough to build. And the girl says she and Sia will make them. Dashi agrees, saying he'll grab sewing needles. He crafts cotton into superior threads and fabrics. Tadashi doesn't usually think this, but he wants to sew nice things for girls so they can save on swimwear. Bari suddenly spots something turning. She calls Tadashi. Heroes spot a ship sailing their way. Tadashi confirms it's Iceland and friends. He's relieved they're well. More ships swarm from behind, leaving Tadashi stunned by their massive numbers. Ships dock, elves disembark, unloading gear. Eren rushes Dashi, yelling, "Mr. Dashi!" shouts he's asked her many times not to call him that. Sticking her tongue out, the girl denies everything as Iceland tells Tadashi they've returned. She shows the hero their harvest, leaving Tadashi completely stunned. Hero expected Iceland and co to bring seeds, but realized the finished product was better. He turns barley and hops into beer, then transforms sugar cane and palm nuts into sugar and butter. Hero finds wheat and soybeans in the harvest, a shock considering his Iceland food, but the girl explains their attempts to grow them on the island always failed. She apologizes for their simple culture, but the hero cuts her off, insisting the elves brought plenty and more would be overwhelming. Iceland sent nearly everyone to help the hero farm, with roughly 150 people arriving. The girl adds they took tools to make fabrics. The hero thanks the elf for the tools. Iceland claims the hero can't doubt her. As ruler, she's calculated every move. Tadashi knows he needs fields, but Isurin suddenly asks Asa if they've been intimate with Tadashi, freezing the hero. Asura blushes, saying none of them tried anything. The girl replies she wouldn't mind since he's a great, strong man and her desire to get closer is natural. Tadashi wonders if she knows he hears everything, then questions Isoline. He asks why the crowd is here. The guy doesn't mind but finds it confusing. Eyes of Line says these elves will build the village but fears they aren't enough. Hiro asks, surprised. The girl says the village needs Tadashi's permission. He likes staying, but he only came for food. He asks if she's serious about building a fishing village for seafood. She refuses, wanting to build a village here. Iceland is just glad the hero made them a forest. She demands they immediately cut the forest and build a village. The hero is shocked. Felled trees need drying. Tadashi warns that takes time. He scolds the girl, she knows it. Felled trees need drying first. Tadashi warns that takes time. He scolds the girl, she knows it. He tells Dash it'll take 3 days, since squeezing them hard forces the moisture out faster. She replies she didn't expect him to act instantly, but with Chrono's blessing, she believed he'd find a way. Iceland expected the wood to be ready, so they brought their carpentry tools. Her eyes snap open, realizing everyone has limits. The hero is confused, but Iceland turns, declaring he'll build a kingdom for Tadashi. She wants Dashi to be king and rule these lands, but the hero is totally confused. He asks if she's overhyping him, but she admits she has the blessing of Chronos and others. Izrin admits Tadashi's right, but it's a prison, yet he made the lands fertile. The hero calls it a blessing, claiming he's not the great man she thinks. Tadashi asks the girl for a free kingdom. He rejects my surrender and vows to build a new one. She asks him about freedom, agreeing he's right but warning he's clueless about the world outside. The girl calls Lisa. The hero stares in disbelief. Suddenly, a one-handed elf appears. Tadashi asks what happened. Isarun explains Lisa's a loyal family warrior. Demon Lord's army ate the girl's parents, and she lost her right arm escaping. Isrin hands Lisa an elixir. She drinks it obediently as the hero stares, shocked. He watches her arm recover. He'd heard the elixir was the best medicine, but never thought it could regrow limbs. After healing, the girl thanks Dashi, saying she can now faithfully serve Iceland again. Isaline explains to the hero, even with her kindness and blessing, the island has no food or medicine. She can't rule or protect the island alone, so she's stepping down. Tadashi looks at Isolina with sadness. She only makes elixirs, can't heal. Hero offers elves elixir ingredients and food. Will she be queen again? Iceland refuses. Her elixir only works because of Tadashi's grass, and he needs her to regrow lost limbs. Everyone here is alive only because the heroes shared Alicia's herb. The girl gives Tadashi her crown, explaining its proof the first elf king, Evolus, was a tree whose body transformed, a king's mark passed down for generations. Iceland and the elves want Tadashi as king. He refuses, unable to accept such a valuable offer. Girl tells the hero not to worry. Some islanders refuse to leave, but she needs him to be hope for those who do want to escape, a role she failed to achieve. Hero asks Iceland if he can do it. She affirms, explaining state rulers are God's apostles and Tadashi's the best. The hero equates blessings with strength, but Isolane claims every king is worthless, including herself. Eren stares at Iceland, confused and heartbroken. The girl screams that Tadashi is special, kind, yet stronger than anyone. He must become a king to protect weaklings like them. The hero sadly agrees, asking if the crown is mandatory, and she beams at his answer. Iceland tells her people she's stepping down, handing her throne and power to Tadashi. The girl crowns the hero, ordering all to greet their new king. The crowd cheers, but Tadashi's lost. He's king, but clueless how to lead. His grandfather named him Dashi, hoping he'd grow up to change the world. Tadashi thought his grandpa was just making excuses for failing, but in this world, he's ready to step up. The hero takes off his crown, saying he doesn't need it. She takes the crown, asking where he's going. Dashi says he must plow a new field. More people means they need more grass. Even as king, he still does the work only he can handle. Hero states a king must protect his people, making the girl happy with Tadashi's answer. Building a village from scratch, he plans field layouts to maximize the harvest. Dashi tells his people Isoline's no longer queen, so elves must inform him of their needs. The elves agree. Everyone starts working. Tadashi tells Iceline he's surprised she expected so much, but she's totally confused. He brushes it off, but Island Dross point out the massive new house, stunning him. He inspects the build, praising the glass and the elves' insane speed. Iceland doubts they'll keep this pace, but as elf king, Tadashi finished the house instantly. The girl tells the hero to praise the builders. He stares at them, confused. He realizes more women have sailed away than men. Dashi gathers his thoughts, seeing the workers overjoyed, but Spike warns it's too early for thanks, pushing him inside to see the house. Tadashi's stunned, but Spike's thrilled the new king loves the house. Tadashi thinks the boards are perfectly crafted, nails hammered almost invisibly. The hero asks what's missing, but the carpenter warns that low iron means they must save money. The hero says after the fields he'll handle the iron, adding magic iron is superior. Spike thanks the new king, counting on him. Tadashi realizes iron's low, so he needs a plan. Then his gaze falls on the luxurious bed. Hero wonders why it's so huge. Isoline explains its size and softness signals royalty. Hero says he didn't mean that. Tadashi asks if the bed's too big for him. Isoline realizes the hero sleeps alone. Tadashi can't believe they forgot, and seeing everyone sleep so soundly creeps him out. Isoline asks who to choose for the hero, but Tadashi is completely clueless. The hero hated Ashaz group, so she assumes Tadashi prefers slender girls. The hero senses danger and tells Isolanda to slow down, but she thinks he's just inviting girls home. Tadashi dismisses it as nonsense, but Iceland insists it's real, bewildered by the hero's rage. The girl says as king he needs concubines. Tadashi daydreams. He gets Ice Rin's point. Eren claims the hero couldn't dissuade the queen from her idea. Eileen never wastes time. The hero demands answers, but she tells Tadashi not to worry. She claims elves and beastmen value kings and lack men. The hero rages, saying they don't exist. With food and shelter secured, she tells the hero it's finally time to start making babies. Hero asks if they hate people. Isolane says Tadashi's different. Elf genes dominate, so half-human kids are usually born as elves. Telling him not to worry, the hero realizes elves are nothing like he imagined. Eileen believes a human child would be happy with them, and they must rebuild after the war's heavy losses. Eileen knows they're best for Tadashi. She suggests Tadashi approach Eren, Beastman leader, then offers Lisa. The hero refuses, not knowing her, and won't get close. Isoline's stunned. Tadashi isn't like other men. Elves here humans are always desperate, but the hero insists feelings come first. Isolane says elves have a breeding season. Human and elf bodies are similar, so problems won't arise. If Tadashi wants children, she advises getting closer to the elf only during her cycle. Furious at Iceland, the hero lets Lisa share his bed as a guard but won't touch her. Then Iceland asks about Eren. Eren asks to join the line. She adds Iceland is most suitable for the role. The girl doubts she's Dashi's type. Eren blames their past failure for Isurin's confusion, urging the former elf queen to be more assertive. The hero knew this was the end, but it wasn't on purpose. Tadashi snapped, screaming at Eren to stop calling him master. She asks to call him king, but knows it won't sway Tadashi. He agrees, then asks why Eren can't use his first name like Isolane. She says Iceline is an exception, as using the hero's first name would ruin his reputation. Hero's confused. Eren's a ruler too, but calls him master instead of his name. Eren says beastmen live in ranked packs and she's better off knowing someone is stronger. She claims God-blessed power, but it can't save her people from war. Eren notes her exhaustion, comparing her to Iceland's abdication. Eren admits she thought crushing the hero would be easy and satisfy her. She snaps out of it, apologizes for spacing out, and tells him to ignore her. Tadashi's stunned Eren shared Isolane's fate. She's just a child, but her burden is already massive. The hero tells Eren no apology is needed, promising she can always rely on him. Eren is thrilled as Tadashi vows to give his all. Tears fill her eyes as she gratefully embraces the hero. He's shocked Eren wants to protect someone too. Eren shouts Isolane got lucky. She claims the hero will pick her today. Dashi insists he meant nothing. Eren tells the hero to deal with it. Tadashi's annoyed, but at least his words helped Eren recover. Next morning, he and Lisa head out as Eren ambushes them with a drink, while Tadashi notes Iceland's wild sleeping position. The hero gives the girl the bed, while Eren claims she'd do the same if she weren't so brave. The hero blames Eren for betraying Lisa, but she's used to it. Tadashi trusted his stamina, but Iceland knocked him out. Moments later, she finally wakes up. Embarrassed, the hero turns from her, saying they need to try again today. The girl's confused. The heroes hit the fields. Tadashi says the wheat's finished, so next up, sugarcane, barley, and hops. Ilaman understands why cane's needed, but can't grasp what to do with all that barley and hops. Tadashi's answer, beer. Isolane presses her. Dashi reveals they only brewed hopless barley wine on her island, using it as medicine. The girl explains early barley wine lacked hops. The hero adds it doesn't spoil, unlike water, making it perfect for voyages. Tadashi wonders if the taste changed. The hero will brew perfect barley wine from the kind gods. Tadashi asks Iceland for beer experts. She mentions someone with the hero's blessing, so he demands an introduction. Turns out it's Merle, a cook. She listens to the hero, understands, and promises to deliver. Tadashi thanks her. Hero made barrels for Merle. Tadashi heads to the blacksmith. The girl insists you rely on her. Hero enters the tent and asks Asiya for the nails. She says yes and shows off the repaired tools. As he thinks, she warns that pushing the tools too fast will break them. Tadashi finds it inefficient to repeatedly melt and forge iron. He wants to restore it with magic steel, but supplies are almost gone. The hero calls Karura. It appears Tadashi needs its legs. Glad to be called, Karura happily gives them. Tadashi knows Kuru will lead them to the steel forest, so he orders the beast to follow the river and hydrate. The hero flies along the river, collects water, and also catches a devil salmon. In the northern forest, the hero hacks through trees toward the mountain. He tells Karura they must reach her, and suddenly she appears. Tadashi shouts dig out and strikes the mountain, blasting rocks away from her. Hero likes the harvest but calls the bag a hoax, telling Kuru they're done and it's time to go back. Back at the village, a relieved Asiya greets the group. The hero dumps a massive haul of fuel and supplies, leaving her stunned. She asks what's up. Tadashi thought they were done. Asiya says the hero brought too much. Asiya says the blacksmith can't handle all the material alone. She needs more help, telling Tadashi to handle it, but he's not surprised. Blacksmith Tadashi thinks he's ready to start carpentry. Hero hands Spike the tool. She calls him amazing as Spike uses it effortlessly. Tadashi calls the tool a plane, and the hero admits it works great. Spike notes the hero's screws fit better than nails, making them far more effective. The beast man demands all for the king, and everyone agrees. Tadashi realizes they can create with the thorn's power, planning their next move. Asiya calls to Tadashi, bored of resting. He's confused until she tells him to look back. The girl shows Iceland the project manager is already exhausted. Tadashi finally understands what Asia means. Hero realizes his past corporate courage failed his subordinates. Sia asks for a break and the hero nods. The hero sips his drink when Kururu suddenly swims up, clutching a shrimp in its teeth, and Tadashi offers to roast it. Building a fire, a strange plant catches Dashi's eye, sparking a genius idea. Hero Asha asks what Tadashi made again. He replies it's liquid soap, a mix of coconut oil, baked seaweed, and salt he'll let ripen. She loves the hero's fragrant soap, so Tadashi jokes that it'll make anyone want a bath instantly. Cut to a large bathtub. He thinks, despite all the work, it was easier than he thought. The hero spins around as Aaron rushes up. Shocked by the bathtub, he offers her a turn. She pulls the lever and water flows. Tadashi shows the beastman ruler the shower and Eerie loves soaking in the spray. She asks how it works. He explains he placed a huge pot of boiling water and height difference makes it flow naturally. Tadashi knows that with a clear goal, anything is possible. The hero calls it a day and suggests a bath. Since they're in swimsuits, Tadashi says jump in and Aaron rushes to grab the others. Hero sinks into the water and relaxes. The cypress wood smells amazing. After ages without a bath, he finally feels reborn. He hears sounds, turns, and freezes as naked girls enter the bathroom. Tadashi asks about baths. Aaron replies she's better without him, easily thought it a good chance to know each other better. She claims the hero's own words. Tadashi argues he didn't mean that. Aaron snatches Dashi's underwear. She screams in embarrassment. Dashi begs him to stop but finds it so boring. Aaron uncovers Isolane. The hero warns she's gone too far, one more step and she'll lose her food. Aaron heard, apologized. Tadashi sent her to wash up. Then a girl passed the hero. It's Lisa. She apologizes for the interruption and begs him not to blame Aaron, explaining he's been on edge too long. Tadashi says he's not angry, she's just a child. The hero knows it was hard for Lisa. He worries the locals and slaves mocked them, but Lisa says a female commander kept order. Tadashi's shocked the National Army commander is a woman. He thought it was a frontier principality. Lisa reveals the islands were just a front to strike the Demon Kingdom from behind. She says their troops resisted desperately, but the enemy's female commander was brutal. Girl says the royal commander charged up front, killing soldiers with one blow. Lisa reveals how she lost her arm. Dashi's intrigued and knows she's blessed, but he'd rather not provoke those powers. Lisa became the duchy's treasury and food source to guarantee her people's safety. Tadashi suspects the duchy plans to disarm, tax, and enslave the elves, and he finds it disgusting. Lisa asks to question the hero. Tadashi agrees. She whispers in his ear. She asks how the hero could tolerate the proximity of a girl. The hero looked at her in embarrassment, and she apologized for her words, thinking that they had offended the hero. Lisa wonders how he resisted Lady Isoline in the same pastel, let alone herself. Tadashi adds she's also decent and attractive. Lisa thanks Dashi for the compliment, admitting it's her first from a man and she's flattered. The hero glances at her, embarrassed. He then thinks. Tadashi tells Lisa to set boundaries, to draw a line. She looks back, confused. Hero says once beer's ready, he'll host a festival, offer to gods, and arrange a Shinto wedding. She's fixated on the Hatsuhana wedding ritual, but the hero questions its elven origins. Lisa explains girls give flowers to their dream man on the spring festival when they come of age. If a man accepts them, marriage is final. Lisa says they were controlled, denied freedom, and fought for their lives. Lisa confirms men must propose, a tradition Tadashi believes keeps Iceland so active. Lisa asks about the ceremony and Tadashi demands the cake, the dress, and the rings. Lisa's stunned by the massive scale. Hadagi's convinced. Since he's marrying Iceland, he's already prepping dresses, forging rings, and picking cake ingredients. As the hero ponders, a voice calls from behind. He and Lisa turn to find Aaron, who asks if Lisa's alone with the king. Lisa replies Tadashi will marry them all. Every girl stares him down, but Tadashi insists he never promised to marry them all. He realizes no one's listening, and the chaos is about to kick off again. Next day, the hero plans wedding prep. Tadashi ordered alcohol made and gave Lola the bride's dress. Hero must get wedding rings and cake, but he doesn't know how to bake it or find the precious stones. Sia shouts his name, screaming that trouble's arrived. Hero offers her a rest, but Acer says there's no time. She shows him the change and he spots diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. She explains they fused with his magic minerals. Tadashi remembers the blacksmith visit. He thought magic minerals couldn't mix, but he was wrong. Tadashi's relieved Asha found the rings, but now she asks the hero to trust her to forge them. Tadashi agrees and entrusts them to her. Isia thanks him and vows to craft them with pride. Tadashi thinks the rings are solved so they can bake the cake, but they lack milk, eggs, and cattle. The hero's confused as Kurururu swoops in. Tadashi asks what Tom needs, then the creature carries the hero away. Tadashi asks where the animal is taking him. Nearing the forest, he asks Kurururu if going deep inside is dangerous. The animal freezes. Tadashi warns they're too deep. Kurururu growls. The hero's confused but senses a presence. Fear grips him. Spotting many cows and roosters, Tadashi shouts from his Karura, offering food. Beast ignores Dashi's suggestion. Kururo intervenes, barking furiously. Animals stare in fear. Tadashi sees these beasts as pets needing taming, so he repeats his offer, better food and water for their eggs and milk. Kuru growls again, terrifying the beasts into submission as they follow him to Dashi. Riding the Kurururu and leading the pack, the hero claims taming them is easy as his mount growls in agreement. Hero returns to the village. He sees agriculture as human work and cattle breeding as part of it. Aaron and Isoline approach the hero. Isoline brought seeds for the flower ceremony, but she suddenly freezes, shocked by something mysterious. Hero thanks Eyes for seeds, explaining the cowshed and chicken coop are perfect for sowing flowers ASAP. Aaron points out the massive, meaty chickens and cows. Isoline explains they're devilish but real. Aaron asks if demonic livestock can be tamed, but Iceland denies it. Humans and magic creatures can't be. Aaron stares at the picture as Tadashi pats the demon chicken, demanding eggs while the bird cries. Aaron notices the beast crying while Tadashi recalls legends of Fenrir guarding them. Eileen explains they were subjugated, not tamed. Aaron asks if demonic beasts count as power, but Isolane is totally confused. Aaron reveals over 30 demonic beasts, ready to unleash on the princely army. Eileen finally understands the beast ruler's warning, stay vigilant. The hero shouts for Aaron and Iceland to grab eggs and milk. There's a massive pile of delicious food, leaving the girls stunned. Dashi says taming demonic beasts makes their future easier, but the girls know they are untamed. Lola and Asha call Tadashi. Lola reveals her wedding ceremony outfit, saying the dress looks great. Tadashi knew she'd succeed. Asya shows off her sapphire engagement ring, and he's glad he trusted her as the girls cheer. Lola demands immediate mass production, while Asya must also craft custom-sized rings. The hero stops them for a bread tasting, shocking the girls. Maru explains she's testing her pastries on the bread. She brings warm bread, it looks delicious, but the hero says that's not all. He unveils his first alcohol. Luwa mistook it for raw ale and loves the icy taste. Tadashi explains light beer is best chilled, cooled by life magic. Asya finds the alcohol potent. Tadashi believes the world's magic and protection are finally real. Girls drink beer with bread. Simple magic handles temperatures, but life magic makes cooking effortless. Stove worked, so the hero thinks they can bake a cake with fresh cream and butter. Maru turns to Tadashi. She says the hero is kind to everyone, questioning if she can even marry him. Stunned, he has no memory of her ever saying that. Tadashi proposes to Maru. She interrupts, revealing she has a child and asks if he's against it. Tadashi's paralyzed. At 28, she's a single mother after her husband Cornell died fighting the principality. Girl heard the hero's disapproval, but she's proud of her husband. Dashi says remember the great, brave beast man, he heard he was great to the very end. The girl bursts in, the hero asks if she's Maru's daughter and she confirms her name is Pedia as she hugs her mom. Hero recalls Maru's husband died in war, leaving mother and child alone. He says she'll remarry soon, despite her gorgeous husband. She says marrying the island's savior will make him happy, vowing to raise her daughter and have more kids as the hero grabs a glass. Tadashi gulps his drink, he then declares they must marry. Hero tells Pedia she can call him daddy. The girl accepts and Maru thanks the hero for letting her call him father. He tells her to use his first name after the ceremony and she agrees. Tadashi knows he made the right move. The wedding is near, preparations are finished, and the 100 villagers have settled into the town. Tadashi reveals a massive feast: wild salad, baked bread, spicy seafood soup, tenderloin steak, and wedding peach cake. Isolan calls out and Tadashi spins to find a crowd of girls in wedding dresses ready. He stares back, shocked and embarrassed. He forgot to check the numbers yesterday and never expected to marry all 7. Izrin asks if something's wrong. Tadashi says no. He thinks marrying everyone at once is unethical but accepts it as island custom. Ari calls Tadashi generous, claiming any deep bond leads to marriage. Tadashi just stares back, confused. He denies it, shutting down marriage talk, but the girls reveal rumors are spreading. He's proud of how far they've come together. Necessary or not, he's glad. Isolane offers vows. The hero agrees but first wants blessings from the gods, then eats. Suddenly, a bright light appears. Gods confront the heroes. Kronos, god of agriculture, greets the healthy hero while Vulcan, the blacksmith god, offers a drink. Girls stare surprised at the gods as Tadashi backs Vulcan, crediting them for his new connections. Vulcan's been hyped for this day. The gods sample Tadashi's brew and after the first sip, Vulcan approves. Kurono slams their terrible bark and manners. Vulcan retorts their drinking is low. Then, eyes lock on the hero. She asks who they are, and Tadashi explains their deities here to feast on his altar offering. The girl screams it's unnatural. The hero sees another mess. The girls are shocked the deities appeared. The hero knows this is rare, explaining that gods descend to personally taste any worthy offering. The girls stare at Tadashi dazed. He knows they're clueless. Suddenly, Kronos targets the new gods. He tells Mia and Helk to fix their faces since Tadashi worked hard on the meal. Wisdom goddess Mia notes Kronos chose to come, but Helkibara argues their rules forbid specific revivals. Heranos calls the god of heroism stubborn, asking if the armor makes him cruel, but Helkibars just snaps back. Two gods clash. Tadashi intervenes, trying to resolve their dispute. The hero suggests the gods, working hard, should eat. Hero god tastes his first dish. He loves its magnificent taste. Tadashi explains it's a soup of algae and seafood. Says it's common for Tadashi dishes to get 7 stars from the patron saint of agriculture. Cut that 1 word, receive, get 1 word saved, total 2. Mia eyes the beeftal soup, calling these faithful offerings impressive even for her era. Kronos calls the healing goddess, telling her they worked hard and she must taste it. Goddess Alicia claims she did nothing, but Tadashi thanks her for the herb anyway. The goddess credits the hero alone. He insists, so she agrees. Tadashi is surprised the goddess suddenly eats meat. He's shocked Alicia's eating meat as Eileen thanks the healing goddess for always watching over them. Alicia's stunned. Iselin asks if she's worried, but she denies it, knowing Iselin believes in her. She tells the elf to focus, and Iselin is thrilled by the healing goddess's words. Kronos asks if Tadashi is the monster god Oda. Tadashi presses him, and Kronos reveals this god commands all magical beasts. Tadashi reveals Kuru brought Oda, but he totally forgot. He hits the figurine and monster god Odd appears. Tadashi asks Kronos what Odd will eat. He replies, everything, just give him more. The hero gives Odd his share. Odd tastes it, then devours every drop, shocking the hero. Tadashi asks Mara if she wanted more, and she says yes. Vulcan tells the hero the booze is gone, demands another barrel. The hero promises it'll be fine. The gods feast and celebrate. Tadashi suggests a wedding while everyone's gathered, and Kronos replies he's just happy. Hero demands Kronos and his loved ones marry. Kronos declares himself the god of agriculture, promising rich harvests and many descendants, and the ideal, trusted marriage witness. Kronos starts the ceremony, and Tadashi's just glad he's actually sober. The wedding starts. The hero explains the island's first flower custom, but the locals have never seen a ceremony before. Tadashi tells Kronso they'll now say their oath, exchange rings and lily flowers. Kronos says polygamy is common, but he's never seen a wedding like this. He compares it to Tadashi, leaving him stunned. Kronos suggests the temple oath. Hero agrees. Suddenly, a voice calls out. His 7 brides offer flowers, and the blushing hero takes them one by one. He puts an engagement ring on each girl. They're thrilled. Kronos blesses the happy union and their future bloodline as the hero gives thanks. Kronos blasts the gods for forgetting Tadashi's wedding gifts. Vulcan's confused what gifts they needed. Pronto thinks this is a new patron star. Mia calls the agriculture gods talk nonsense. Kronos calls her stingy. She replies gifting Tadashi disrupts earthly order. Alicia agrees. She offers heroes' brides 1 star each. Iceland, hearing this, is overjoyed. Mia rejects the gifts. Kronos notes she's the only one who hasn't tried them. Mia turns to Tadashi. She ordered her wisest merchants brought here. Hero thanks her for the gift. He thinks only border traders will come. Eren appears and Tadashi asks about the gift. She confirms she got it from Helk Barris's hero deity. The hero refuses to marry Eren. She claims his desires turned lewd, but he shuts her down completely. She jokes it's too early to see him that way, but she'll think about it later whether she wants to or not. Dashi hasn't said a word, knowing 7 wives will be a total nightmare. A hail rings out. Iceland's glad she married him and the other girls echo her joy. The hero replies he's just as happy, admitting his previous life never considered marriage. He feared being alone forever, but unlike his old life, he isn't alone here. The girl whispers, the king summons gods to earth. Others aren't surprised. It's a legend where eyes align and people are blessed. The gods recognize Dashi as the ultimate king, and the girls say his god-tier cooking is why they visit. Dashi believes this village will soon be divine, belonging to no one. Instead of uncertainty, better to cultivate these lands. Tadashi's legend as food king began. The wedding raged all night, then Islin ordered girls to line up by breast size. Lisa asks if the girls' small breasts mean no competition. Lisa replies tastes vary. Tadashi wouldn't accept it. Seeing the girls bicker over the order, he tells everyone to just go to bed. Girls refuse to sleep. Maru suddenly asks Tadashi if he's experienced, but the hero is totally confused. She warns their inexperience spells trouble, and her logic completely overwhelms the hero. Daishi suggests Mara tell everyone. She calls it a good offer but needs a visual learning partner. Hero stares, stunned, then clarifies. Tadashi calls it a shame, claiming no other girl could ever replace her. Maru suggests a ship, noting the girl's a half-beast and his age. Hero realizes Maru wants them together. Spike takes charge and tells the hero to pretend she's gone. Hero sees it as a compromise. He agrees. Maru warns him not to overdo it, rely on her. Spike greets him. Next morning, the hero asks Maru about her plan. Maru asks to speak. Tadashi allows. She says everything's fine, *2 fine, revealing the test succeeded and now Tadashi's in danger, leaving him confused. Maru shouts that the hero is in danger. If he relaxes, his partner will kill him. Tadashi believes the agriculture god gave her 7-star strength. He has to reach the royal garden no matter what. Kambar migrants flooded the descendant god's village. Tadashi Kingdom's population exploded. Frontrunner County heard of this boom. Cut to Frontrunner Century's capital, founded by one hero and 100 soldiers, now a massive military power. Matilda von Frontrunner, Frontrunner's SDR ruler's daughter, sits buried in documents, bored by reports her father entrusted to her. Lost in thought, the girl looks up as Ajahn von Fontaine enters and turns to her. He reports disturbing activity in the Kanbar archipelago. The girl asks if it's the key base for the next offensive and what's happening there. Ochin warns that legends say they can't even support half the archipelago. He warns high taxes will drive everyone away, they must fix it fast. Matilda orders them left. He objects, but the girl demands her commander. Ajahn warns against disrespect for him. OJN warns the commander to think of the civilians, but the girl snaps that their counterattack is ready and scouting the island is pointless. Matilda apologizes to Ajahn for her short temper, then stares out at the city. Victory over the Magic King feels imminent, but Matilda knows missing this attack costs them the country. The girl believes they'll attack and win, seeing no other path. Action shifts to Divine Village Fields where Tadashi works. He thinks over 5,000 island migrants arrived, with more coming daily. He thinks their territories are vast, but endless expansion isn't enough. Suddenly, a voice calls out. Isolane burst in on Kururu screaming about trouble, and the hero demanded answers. Isolane reports new arrivals, but the hero doesn't see the problem. The girl warns that hordes of dwarves and cat demons are swarming in. This is a major threat. The girl appears on Kuru, and Tadashi asks Iceland for an introduction. The girl reveals herself, asking if the hero is like Dashi Farmer, the country's king. The hero asks her name, but Iceland interrupts, calling him a traitor and the cat demon caravan's leader. The girl's glad to meet them, introducing herself as Shinku, leader of the cat ears trading caravan. Ilia finds the caravan's name unique, and the hero explains cat demons are just cats. Shinku says it helps customers remember their trademark, the beloved cat ears and tail. The girl asks if the hero's reborn. She believes goddess Mia brought him believers. The hero instantly lit the area, built a village, and plowed a field, so she believed he was reborn. Shinku asks to scout the area. The hero agrees, but first he must meet the dwarves. Iceland offers to take over work. She'll accompany Sinka while the hero meets dwarves, and Tadashi agrees, relying on her. Hero jumps on Kurora, tells his group not to wait, then rushes to meet the dwarves. The hero approaches, spotting dwarves. One calls out, asking if he's Tadashi's king. The hero confirms, then asks if the dwarf leads them. The dwarf nods, introducing himself as Overin, leader of the gnomes from the Frontrain mines. Ashi offers the dwarves plenty of land, promising to grow enough food and trees for them to settle near the mountain mines. Hero says mountains yield magic ore and jewelry. Overnon questions Tadashi's intel. Following Mr. Barkin's instructions, the hero decides to trust him. Hearing this, the dwarf burst into joyful tears, calling the hero generous and swearing his hands would serve King Tadashi for life. The hero just said he was slightly exaggerating. Tadashi offers to hit the mines immediately, calling the dwarves his new comrades. The dwarf shakes on it, vowing to fight by his side. The hero heads north to Oberon's mining village to supply the dwarves with gear. On southern Kanbar, 1,000 settlers arrive as cat demons build a global trade port. They're building river forts in every region to serve as the kingdom's base. Shinku says trade goes to plan but warns magic iron and steel exports are forbidden. Tadashi wonders why they're banned. The girl reveals the country is prepping for war and magic steel weapons will give them the edge. Isolane questions Shinku's war, but the girl warns that letting this many people in is a declaration of war. Isolane says her people leave the island once debts are paid. This land was for principality outcasts, so the principality won't even notice. Shinku identifies the girl as Tunuive, explaining that Ganbar Island's people are fleeing. She agrees no one will notice because the county's leaders are total idiots. Still, she'll prepare a counterattack strategy considering all possibilities. Tadashi relies on her, he knows nothing of military affairs. Shinku promises her support as Overin vows the dwarves will give their all for the king. Isolane claims the sea elves and island demi-humans won't repeat their past mistakes. Shinku intimidates the girl, saying if attacked, they'll run to the nearest fishing village. Eren encourages her to be brave, but Shinkus sarcastically demands her plan, so the hero separates them. He expects to hear from both. Shinku says a disciplined attack can beat the Count's strong army. She says the win depends on Tadashi's strength, but the hero is confused. She explains his divine power came from heaven. Shinku heard this power can purify these lands. The hero doubts his mastery is complete, so his strength won't be enough to fight. Shinku faces Tadashi, urging him to drop his bias. She claims the hero's power enriched these lands. The hero stares, stunned. Tadashi considers the offer, ready to unleash his full power for his family. He's a king with a duty to his people. Cut to Frontrunner County, Century Palace. Matilda screams, baffled. A huge mine, their country's lifeblood, is now active. Workers vanished, she learns, baffled why, but knows no weapons means their army falls. Ajin bursts in apologizing and hands Matilda an item. She asks what it is, and he reveals it's tied to the incident. Ojian claims these mushrooms come from Ganbal Island's border, explaining their island lacks such quantities. The girl tastes a mushroom, confused by his point. Otten claims people fled to fertile lands, but the girl argues no place compares to the land of dreams. Ocean's investigation confirms it. A new kingdom just rose on the border. Matilda heard border areas became uninhabitable. She doesn't believe disappeared citizens fled abroad. She's annoyed they moved before the demon counterattack. She asks who can handle the case, then a voice calls from the door. It's Graham, the Heavenly Star's 4-star general, wielding a magic sword. He asks to destroy the kingdom. She questions Ojien's authority, but he shuts her down instantly. He reminds Matilda of Kanbar Island, where his 100-man squad went rogue and torched a beastman village. She's busy preparing and lets him take over, but the general snaps she should have known sooner. Ajin objects, but Matilda's adamant. She's decided to trust Graham's squad. Ajin stares in shock. The girl warns Graham not to fail again, and he vows to deliver. As Graham's squad nears the island, they confirm the rumors. Elves, beastmen, and others fled to the border territories. He warns that running is a huge mistake. He's ready to profit again. Graham orders his men to loot everything. He'll extract intel from enemy lands. The soldiers obey. Graham plans some fun after work. The squad enters the village, surprised it's empty. A soldier reports the island elves and beastmen vanished. Noise from the side, demonic beasts charge, leaving the squad stunned. Soldiers scream to disperse, but one warrior calls it just a bird pecking his hand. Graham fights back hard, yelling for the soldiers to stay alert. These aren't normal animals, they're rank demonic cows and chickens. He orders them to strike all 5. These demonic animals are too aggressive. Graham realizes his carelessness and needs more caution in these territories. Shinku, Eren, and Tadashi spy on the painting from the bushes, confirming Eren's theory that demonic beasts are thinning the army. Shinku asks why Eren's so quiet, but she tells Tadashi to leave the soldiers to them. He asks if she's ready to strike. They burned her village and Eren wants blood. Tadashi tries to stop her, but she won't back down. It's now or never. Girl urges hero to leave. Tadashi senses imminent attack. She rushes to battle, thanking the hero as beastmen charge enemies. Beastmen charge, Graham spots them and tries to bolt, but a voice stops him. Beastman ruler appears, he remembers her. She immediately attacks, her strange sword shocking Graham. He notes Aaron's magic sword mocking her taste. She seethes with rage, certain he torched her village. Suddenly, Graham grins. He vows Aaron burns this time. He imbues his sword with acid, then lunges at the girl. She dodges, stunning him. Graham's shocked she escaped, she's done with his insults. Aaron reveals Tadashi made her a 4-star warrior. Graham wonders why the girl resists the sulfuric acid spell. Aaron attacks him again. She strikes blow after blow, shatters his sword, then pierces his chest with his own. Sword on her chest, she declares the Grahams for Cornell. The man stares at Aaron in horror. He coughs. Gritting her teeth, she screams that Graham is finished. The man mocks her again, but she pulls a sword right out of her body. Confused, Aaron stands still as Dash rushes up behind her. She turns to the hero and says she finally did it. The hero looks at her. She actually did it. This fight is for them. At Frontrunner's Century Castle, Matilda learns Graham's squad fell but doubts Graham, demonic sword's owner, was defeated. Ajin confirms it. He claims escaped soldiers reported demonic beasts and beastmen attacked the squad. The girl asks again. She asks if the neighbors used demon beasts. Ajin admits they underestimated the enemy, making her snap. She insists the info is vital. Ajin gathers intel from migrants and traffickers abroad, and a letter just arrived from the neighboring Tadashi kingdom. Matilda unfolds the letter. Ajin wants to discuss several issues with principality reps, including captured soldiers. Matilda's coming to explain, but Ajin asks if she's going solo. The girl replies as commander she won't abandon her captured order members. Shocked, Ajin agrees to get everything ready. The girl says the glorious Heavenly Star Order suffered a cruel defeat from beasts and beastmen. She admits underestimating the situation and leaving it to fate was a mistake. Ajin warns Matilda against rash actions and repeating mistakes, but Matilda snaps she's no child for lectures. She clenches her fists, but Ajin warns that leaders must stop and assess the situation. Matilda won't wait. They're sailing for the Kambala Islands with 2,000 knights and 20,000 legionnaires, just as planned. The girl will take 1,000 knights abroad. Ajin offers to accompany her to negotiations, and she agrees. They land on the island, eyeing the Tadashi kingdom's massive new port. Entering the docks, Matilda wonders where the money came from. Ajin reveals Shinku and Kadir back them, blessed by the god of wisdom. Matilda sees no warships or soldiers, noting their wealth doesn't bring military power. Ajin suggests they keep their capabilities secret. Munchin warns that powerful borderland demons back the Tadashi kingdom, repeatedly telling Matilda to never drop her guard. Girl knows it, then Tadashi calls out, asking if they're principality reps. Girl asks who they are. He reveals he's Tadashi Ono, a farmer and the king of this land. She's stunned a mere mortal caused such chaos. Ajin whispers to Matilda, pointing at the hero's hand. He shows her 9 blessing stars on his hand, a rare sight with 7 stars in farming, smithing, and heroism. The girl doesn't believe the hero has so many stars. Ajin tells her she must believe him. Matilda rages, saying he's asking her to believe a star joke. Ajin claims a rich nation in this godforsaken frontier is impossible unless the hero has the god of agriculture's blessing. Matilda is livid. Tadashi remembers peace talks. Shinku's simple demand, return captured knights, forgive land invasion. In return, the principality must recognize them and never interfere. Matilda calls it arrogance, blaming heroes for 10,000 deaths, but Shinku mocks her for their failing nation. Tadashi warns Matilda's realm needs food. He offers cheap trade routes. Matilda refuses, and the hero asks what they need. Matilda demands her artisans return, then the beastmen and elves to the island. The dwarf leader claims they chose Tadashi freely, while the elves snuggle close to him. They declare themselves Dashi's wives, obeying only him. Aaron states Matilda won't rule them. Matilda rejects the offer, standing by her true ruler. She proposes becoming a vassal state to protect them from the demon lord. Aaron's livid and rejects the deal since the principality hasn't kept their word for years. Matilda says if they refuse her offer, she's going home. Back in the kingdom, Matilda shuts Ajin down, claiming things are better than ever. She orders the army to deploy to Kamba Island immediately. She declares an attack on Tadashi Kingdom now. Ajin, shocked, asks if they'll use military force to counter the demon kingdom. They're clueless about Tadashi's true might. Ajin warns they have zero intel and starting a war now violates every military rule. So they'll launch a surprise attack. Matilda reveals the enemy has 10,000 demonic beasts and they can't wait for them to grow stronger. Matilda's taking on the demon and Tadashi kingdoms at once. This is no game, but they're doing it. She asks Ajin about the fertile lands, believing they could double their army and crush the Demon King's forces. Ajin asks if Matilda trusts luck to save her principality. She replies it won't survive without risks. The commander, representing the prince, orders a surprise attack on the Tadashi kingdom. Matilda warns that backing down ruins their position, so Ajin obeys out of respect. On Kanbar Island, a soldier reports they've crushed the demon beast raid, but Ojian admits it was a struggle. Beasts were slaughtered, no demon stands a chance against 20,000 soldiers. Ocean decides to end Matilda's port invasion and orders a soldier to sail straight to her. Ajin thinks there's plenty of city food and supplies keep coming. We can only pray the girl makes the right choice. Ajin tells Matilda the coast is held and the demon attack is crushed. The girl expects nothing less from him, declaring it a great victory as Ojian watches her. He asks why stop there. The girl doesn't get what he means. Ajin reports no resistance, just demonic beasts. He suspects all residents evacuated inland, assuming a surprise attack. Matilda knows Ojian failed the surprise attack. Reports show a castle on the River of Sorrow, likely the enemy base and a deadly trap. She reveals Tadashi's crew is there and demands an immediate strike, but Bajin objects. Matilda asks if he realizes he's this territory's greatest treasure. Girl claims he created fertile fields, wants him alive. Ajin warns it's too dangerous. He holds the 9 stars of blessing. Matilda warns, defeat his blessing, but they still lack farmings. Their hero's 1-star blessing means weak military power. Girl stays alert and fights full force while Ocean rushes to negotiate with King Tadashi. They can win now, but seizing these lands will cost them the war against the Demon King. Matilda calls Ajin's plan nonsense. He admitted it's full of traps. He can't go alone. The man warns, go alone, you die. Crush the main army and the principality falls. Girl objects, claiming no traps. Ajin interrupts, reminding her she taught against her own desires. The girl shouts he's just posing as a mentor. She warns traps will lure endless enemies, but Ajin wants exactly that. Suddenly, she screams his name. A few soldiers will hold the territory while the entire army crushes River Castle. Her decision is final. Horrified, Ajin tries to stop Matilda. The enemy army attacked fiercely. The hero predicted this, but few remained in the port, unable to escape fast. Tadashi prays the prophecy fails. Eren arrives on Kura reporting 200,000 enemies and 3,000 soldiers. Tadashi decides to watch as the ships approach. The ships are gone. Shinku, who sold the army's secrets, crafts a strategy. But heroes might not win. Tadashi realizes the royal castle is just a magical steel wall around the fort. Shinku confronts Tadashi, but he reminds her of her faith in him. He's finally found a way to save everyone. He won't let the principality destroy the village, the city, and everything he built. He'll give his all. Shinku approves the hero. Suddenly, she turns to Tadashi and moves closer. Girl kisses Hero, pulls away. She promises if he wins the war, she'll marry him. Hero looks embarrassed. He says she always wanted this. The girl says this is the spot. Tadashi asks, shouldn't the confession come before the kiss? She replies, for this hero, it won't work. Tell him first, he'll just say no. The hero smiles, thanking her for cheering him up with her jokes. Shinku confirms it, and the hero realizes he only made it this far because of the friends he's found. Elf Eyes Align, Beastman Eren, Dwarf Overon, Catgirl Sinku, Fenrir Karuru all mean everything to the hero. He remembers Kronos' warning about a poisoned river of mourning. Using his agriculture blessing, he can purify the water and soil. Hero recalls his blessing purified a poisoned, uninhabitable river. He dips his hand, cleansing the water with it. Cut to the enemy ship's cabin. Ajin and Matilda hear screams bolt from their cabin, and Matilda asks what's happening. They learn the ship's bottom is torn open as a giant fish leaps aboard. Matilda asks about the monster fish. Ajin calls it a devil salmon, a demonic beast from poisoned rivers. Girl calls her legendary. Matilda asks why she's here. Ajin thinks it's Tadashi's power. Ajin worries about his army as a realization hits him.